Everyone believed the Cold War was a battle of two distinct blocs. They were catastrophically wrong. The true nature of the Cold War, according to one man, was far more complex, a meticulously orchestrated deception designed to lull the West into a false sense of security. This was the chilling claim of Anatoly Golitsyn, a KGB major who defected to the CIA in Helsinki in December 1961. Golitsyn wasn't just any defector. He brought with him a theory so radical, so audacious, that it would fracture Western intelligence agencies for decades. He asserted that the apparent Sino-Soviet split, the thawing of relations, and even the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union were all part of a grand, strategic deception. This wasn't merely about individual spies. Golitsyn painted a picture of a long-range strategic plan conceived by the highest echelons of Soviet intelligence dating back to the 1950s. Its ultimate goal, to achieve global communist dominance through a series of tactical retreats and feigned weaknesses. His primary American handler was James Jesus Angleton, the legendary and notoriously paranoid head of CIA counterintelligence. Angleton, already deeply suspicious of Soviet intentions, found in Golitsyn a kindred spirit, a voice confirming his deepest fears about infiltration and deception. Golitsyn's theories, detailed in his books New Lies for Old and the Perestroika Deception, were not easily dismissed. He made specific predictions that, to some, seemed to come true. He foresaw a period of ostensible liberalization in the Soviet bloc, a liberalization designed to trick the West. The apparent collapse of the Soviet Union, the dismantling of the Warsaw Pact, the reunification of Germany, these weren't genuine failures of communism, Golitsyn argued. Instead, they were calculated maneuvers designed to disarm the West politically and militarily. He warned that the new Russia would eventually reassert its authoritarianism, uniting with China to form a formidable global threat. This vision was, and remains, deeply unsettling, particularly given contemporary geopolitical realities. But Golitsyn's influence wasn't universally accepted. His claims led to immense internal strife within Western intelligence. He alleged that Soviet agents, moles, had deeply penetrated Western agencies, including the CIA and MI6. This led to witch hunts, careers ruined, and a pervasive atmosphere of mistrust. Many loyal intelligence officers found themselves under suspicion, their lives and reputations irrevocably damaged by unproven accusations rooted in Golitsyn's broad, often vague, pronouncements. One of the most famous victims of this paranoia was Peter Wright, a senior MI5 officer who later wrote Spycatcher. Wright became convinced that MI5 was riddled with moles, largely due to Golitsyn's influence and the subsequent investigations. The British intelligence community was particularly rocked. Golitsyn worked closely with intelligence officer Arthur Martin, and their collaboration led to a massive, ultimately inconclusive, internal investigation known as the Penkovsky case, fallout, or mole hunt. Critics argued that Golitsyn was not a prophet, but rather a brilliant disinformant himself, a plant sent by the KGB to sow discord and paralysis within Western intelligence. His comprehensive claims, they said, were too perfect, too encompassing. They pointed to the fact that his intelligence, while initially valuable, became increasingly speculative and accusatory over time, often lacking concrete, verifiable details. He provided theories, not always actionable intelligence. The debate intensified after the fall of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of the USSR. While many celebrated the end of the Cold War, Golitsyn and his adherents saw it as merely phase one of the grand deception, a strategic retreat before a renewed offensive. His predictions about Russia's return to authoritarianism and alignment with China certainly seem to resonate more strongly today than they did in the immediate aftermath of 1991. Is this prescience, or simply a broad enough prediction to eventually find some truth? The question of Golitsyn's true nature remains one of the enduring mysteries of the Cold War. Was he a genuinely insightful defector, a unique mind capable of seeing the forest for the trees in the dense fog of Soviet strategy? Or was he a master disinformant, expertly manipulating Western fears to paralyze their intelligence apparatus and sow distrust from within? The scale of his claims, the internal damage they caused, suggest a profound impact, regardless of intent. Even today, retired intelligence officers and historians are divided. Some argue his theories, though extreme, provided a vital counter-narrative, urging caution when others saw only victory. Others maintain he was a destructive force, an unwitting or deliberate tool that caused irreparable harm to intelligence gathering and analysis, distracting from real threats by chasing phantoms of deep infiltration. Golitsyn died in 2008, taking his ultimate secrets with him. But his legacy, particularly the perestroika deception, continues to be debated and re-evaluated, especially as the world grapples with renewed geopolitical tensions and a more assertive Russia. The mystery of Anatoly Golitsyn isn't just a historical footnote. It's a stark reminder of the complexities of espionage, the fragility of trust, and the enduring challenge of discerning truth from deception in the shadowy world of international intrigue. His story forces us to ask, what if the greatest triumphs of one era were, in fact, the most elaborate deceptions? And what if we're still living with the consequences? Next, explore the bizarre tale of the CIA's psychic spy program and its unlikely successes.